It is April the 13th. This is This Day in Wrestling. I'm Jennifer from Cultaholic, and joining me again is Ross from Cultaholic.
What a day. What a day to be alive.
What a day to be alive.
The sun's shining, maybe.
Yes. I'm sure
Can't predict
we've
the
heard.
future.
Let's go 1990. We'll just crack in. 1990, it was All Japan and WWF present the US Japan, what's it called? Wrestling Summit.
Now this will probably mean nout to a lot of you, but
to me, I don't know.
contextually, it's rather big because New Japan Pro Wrestling wasn't a thing back then. So this is sort of, I guess, Wrestle Kingdom of that day, because All Japan was the New Japan of Japan back then.
And it was in the Tokyo Dome.
So it's like, if WWE and New Japan did a collaboration today, that's what that is, I guess, which means it's rather big.
That does mean it's big.
What matches took place?
I'm joking. No, it was the main event was Hulk Hogan and Stan Hansen.
Would have been a bruising affair, no doubt about it. I've not seen it.
I've not seen it either. And then also on the card was Ultimate Warrior and Ted DiBiase.
Everyone's seen that, haven't they?
Well,
Maybe. It happened in
not
WWE.
in the Tokyo Dome.
No, maybe not.
So-
That's a bit of a weird location for that match to take place, I guess.
Well,
It's a big event, just take our word for it. If you want to watch it, I don't know how you would.
so 1997, ECW pay-per-view debut.
Barely legal.
Barely legal.
A very fitting title.
I was gonna say.
It barely made the air because of mass transit,
Yeah.
which was a big old lump of a fella
Actually.
who he wasn't of age, I don't
So
think.
he claimed to be, what, 19?
Yep, he was a little bit younger than 19.
What age was he?
Maybe 17, maybe 16. Who knows? Apparently he wasn't of age. He claimed to have trained to be a wrestler, which, he just hadn't. And ECW put him on a show in which New Jack, you all know New Jack, he's a lovely, welcoming
I was
fella.
going to say, cuddly.
Yeah, just he
Cuddly
walked in
nice
the ring
guy.
and a New Jack hugged him with a knife. And it wasn't quite a knife, but he slashed him up. He gave him a merciless beating. It's just something that a young kid just shouldn't go through. ECW got into a lot of bother. Companies were going, we're not going to air your upcoming pay-per-view. A few of them pulled out, but one of them didn't. But the compromise that they come to was they had to air at 9 p.m. instead of, I guess, the 7:30 p.m. slot that they would have normally done. So R.I.P. Mass Transit, who is now dead, unsurprisingly, because he was a big lad.
When did he die? Do you know?
I don't know.
What?
It wasn't on this day, so I don't
I was
care.
going to... Oh,
If it was on a different day, I would be caring, but
I care.
it's not on April the 13th, so why should I care? We're not talking about that, are we?
The main event for that pay-per-view,
Terry
Terry
Funk.
Funk against Champion Raven.
And Terry Funk won, despite being 99 years old that day. No, it was nice seeing Terry. We've all seen Beyond the Man, haven't we?
We have.
Terry Funk's ECW days are on there. Paul Heyman had a lot of admiration for the guy.
Yeah.
Terry Funk did a lot of good things for
He did a
ECW
lot
in
of
terms
good
of getting their
things.
name out there early on, so having the world title was a fitting tribute, I guess.
There you go.
Nice fella, isn't he, Terry? An egg-sucking dog, by all accounts.
What the hell's an egg-sucking dog?
One of the things he used to say.
Oh. So, 1997, WWF Q8 Cup.
Nobody remembers it, so it can't have meant that much. And of
But-
course, the winner would tell you it didn't mean much because Tiger Ali Singh, of all people, won. Tiger
Yes.
Ali Singh, of course, was the Jinder Mahal of his day, the rich guy who came in, but instead of Jinder Mahal just being racist towards Japanese people, Tiger Ali Singh would get people in the ring and make them do degrading things like eating cheese off his servants' toes and stuff, and
Actual.
putting worms in his mouth, I think he did, and stuff like that.
Oh,
This was
really?
all legit people in the crowd, I think.
Actually.
Just getting asked in the ring and do stuff for money. So, I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Doing stuff we don't want to do for money. Come on now. I don't know where we're going with this.
I was going to say, I'm like, maybe you have, but definitely
You're sat here
not
right
me.
now, I guess. That's where we'll go with that. We'll end that there.
So 2000, this is a wee bit relevant to something we were talking about.
What
the
day
other
was it
day.
originally?
The other day.
I can't remember what day it was.
Wait a minute, were we the 13th now? So
It might
would
have been the 9th or the
It might have
5th.
been the 9th or the 5th.
Something happened. Anyway,
We've been in here a long time.
the rumours broke on whatever day it was back then, early this month, and then today was the day where Mike Awesome dropped the ECW World Heavyweight Championship
Two Taz.
in a very short match.
Yes, it was only...
WWF let Taz back to ECW, just a little bit of a favour, and he won. Of course, around this time, Taz had just made his debut for WWF at the Royal Rumble of 2000, where he himself has said that pop he got was like the nail in the coffin, because he wasn't built as a WWF guy. That pop came from his work in ECW, so that pop was the worst thing ever happened to him. And what a shame. And of course, after the feud with Jerry Lawler, he won a tag team championship with Spike Dudley, I remember, and became a commentator. A good one at that.
I was going to say, he was a good commentator.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Underrated, I think.
I liked him.
I liked him and Cole back in the day. Cole's awful now, of course. Just get that balance and act in there. But Taz, good commentator back in the day. And he beat Mike Awesome for the ECW title on this day in 2000.
So 2008 was a TNA lockdown.
An event where Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle did the graps.
Well, Samoa Joe actually beat Kurt Angle
for the title. It's a weird...
2 guys now in WWE.
It's just about to say, it's weird looking back on TNA 10, 15 years ago and seeing AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, all these people, Angle, Sting you could throw in there, all these people that come from there to wrestle in WWE and flourish.
And some have come and gone. James Storm, he was there for a while.
Yeah.
Went back.
People laugh at TNA unfairly. What's a crap
I was
with
going
that?
to say, they were just all sitting there.
Just have that evil maniacal boss on top of them.
Big Dixie.
Yeah.
Do you think TNA wasted a lot of their talent?
I don't know. They did a lot to keep AJ Styles locked down, no pun intended, for many years, and they did well there. But I don't know. This was sort of 07. I guess the way it sort of died down on it. The big old buzz about TNA.
Yeah.
This is when they started getting towards the silly stuff with the competing against Raw and all that. I think that was 2010, wasn't it? But 2007, 2000.
I went to a couple of TNA house shows around about that time.
What were they like?
Good, actually. I enjoyed myself.
Who did you see?
Who did I see? Who were? Daniels and Kazarian were there, and who else was? Bobby Roode was there, James Storm was there, Samoa Joe was there. They were all there.
All good information.
I don't know what happened. I was drunk. So 2009 was the draft.
A draft. The old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way.
So an episode of Raw would happen, matches would take place, the winners of those matches would get a pick in the draft. And on this particular one, Triple H went from Raw to SmackDown, which is a big one.
It was. He was champion at the time.
The second time he
Melina,
did that. Melina,
she went to SmackDown from Raw.
Maybe.
She did, I think.
But yeah, they're very much they did it differently back then to the way they do it now. These superstar shake-ups they have are very much random. You just wake up one day and you see on WWE.com, blah blah blah, drafted to blah blah blah, and blah blah blah, drafted the other way to blah blah blah.
What do you think was better?
I like the old way of doing things.
The old school way?
It meant something, didn't it? It made you tune in and see who won the matches, and things meant more, rather than just waking up and things happen for no reason, which you do all too often these days. Wagging me finger at you, WWE.
So it's birthdays.
Huge day for birthdays. Massive day.
It's more of a day for
I can't believe I'm here reporting on this now.
I know.
Some of the names we've got coming up here.
1927, somebody very important came
there,
into the world.
Well.
Antonino Rocca.
Antonino Rocca.
What did I say?
Whatever he was called. When I was doing my research for this, it's just one of those names that you've heard bad about somewhere, but you don't know anything about it, much like Luthez.
Oh no, we all know about Luthez.
No, but one person does. Not we don't.
Well, I do. No. I mean, thoroughly skilled in Luthez.
So I think he would have been 91 today, whoever that famous man is.
But the note that you seem to put down, the most notable thing about Antonino Rocca.
It's an important bit of information.
Share with the group, Ross.
It's he would have been 91 because he's dead, and he died in 1977 due to complications from a urinary. Oh my God, I'm dead.
Urine.
A urine infection complication.
Complication.
So what that complication is, nobody knows.
No, nobody knows.
But it hurts, whatever it was.
For next year, I want to know more. Moving on, 1937, Stan the Man Stasiak.
The dad of Shawn, Perfect Shawn Stasiak. You must remember Perfect Shawn Stasiak.
No, just laughing. You've actually written again what he died from.
What did he die from?
You did the notes.
I know, I'm asking you what the reason.
So he would have been 81 today, but he died from heart failure in 97. You are morbid.
Massive irony, because his finishing move was the heart punch.
Well, there you go.
So he presumably he died.
That might have saved him.
Shawn might have saved him now, because I'm sure Shawn's some sort of doctor, isn't he? Outside the graps. He might be a chiropractor, whatever he was. He wasn't very good at the wrestling, so he's not in the wrestling anymore. But R.I.P. Stan the man.
There you go. But happy birthday as well, which was the main point.
Oh yeah, birthday.
And moving on, Monty Brown.
Yes.
There you go.
The big news we're all here for.
Much you want to say about Monty Brown?
He was in TNA. He dominated. He went to WWE. He didn't quite dominate. And then that's it. How old is he today?
48.
Jesus Christ. See, what I thought he was in ECW as Marcus Corvon, I believe his name was. He seemed quite young, but he's not. He wasn't. So there you go.
Well, happy
no wonder he's not there
birthday.
anymore.
Oh my God. So that was this day in wrestling, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you like what we do at Cultaholic, you can support us by pledging to our Patreon, patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.